Oh, hey, just reading a book. This one happens to be the Handbook of Chemistry, Physics. This is a good read. If you want to learn like everything about like everything, it's really good. Now this is a book that, well, I don't read it. It's a reference book, right? But there are a lot of other books that I have read, and I have to say that I attribute the vast majority of my learning, my education, on my own to the reading of books. I've tried video, and this is a video, right? I've tried video and there's not enough information given in a short enough period of time, so I prefer to read. Sometimes there's not even information available on the internet in any form, and you have to go to the library, pick out a book. Go to somebody's private library and pick out a book, or borrow a book. Books are great. Here's one. Automobile engines, electrical systems. I read a lot of these books growing up because, again, didn't have the internet. There's a lot of really good information here. Compact form, words, diagrams, excellent stuff. Love books. Here's another one, the American Institute of Physics Handbook. Okay, I didn't read this. Feynman, Richard Feynman's Lectures on Physics. I have the full set at home. These are really good. Richard Feynman was a great popularizer of science and really did a great job explaining science things. I spent a lot of time reading people's works who popularize science and speak at the level of the everyman. Lectures on Physics, Richard Feynman. Also available in video form. The Making of the Atomic Bomb. To enrich my own classes and to learn history, to find out how things actually worked and why they were developed the way they were, you read books on history. This is the earlier version of the Handbook of Chemistry and Physics. It's really small. It's leather. I really like it. Anyway, I don't read these because I'm not an idiot. Conceptual Physics textbook by Hewitt. He does a really good job of communicating really important concepts in physics. So I have read this book pretty much cover to cover and started early in my career, actually in college, using this book. And it worked out really well. But I read books, and I've learned a lot from books. What I want my students to do is actually read a book and struggle with an understanding of the information in that book and be able to take the information in that book and organize it in their own brains. In order for them to do that, they need to be able to organize it in some kind of visual format. Now, if it's your own book, which this kind of actually is, you could highlight it like you do with some college textbooks, or you can put little post-its all over it because that's what some of the English literature teachers do, and you can organize it that way. But you can also take this and organize it on a piece of paper. So I don't really do PowerPoint presentations anymore because I know that my students are capable of reading, and I want them to be reading much more often. So you have them read, and you have them then take the information and organize it visually on that piece of paper, indented, outline, not with the capital ones and the lowercase a's and the capital A's and all that stuff, but just visually organize it and separate different material, different places. Not just a bulleted list of random garbage that they learn supposedly just to fulfill the requirement, but a visual organization. Maybe copy some diagrams, modify some diagrams, write little question marks in the column so that they can ask that the next day. And then when they come in the next day after having read and organized it on their own, I, as the teacher, then take the information that they have taken from the book and then I organize it in a different fashion. We do demonstrations, we discuss the concepts, I ask them the questions, they give me the answers from what they have read, and then we are capable of organizing it in a different fashion. So that my students at the end, when it's all over and when they're ready to take the test, they have read the book. Maybe they've seen a couple of my videos because my videos are the best, right? And then we've discussed these things in class, organized it in a different way, and then we've done a series of demonstrations and videos and a lab. We solved some problems, answered some questions publicly in class. We've gone over the things again and again and again from a different series of perspectives, and now they understand it. Hopefully, if they've been paying attention, they understand it. But reading that book, I still attribute the vast majority of my learning today to reading books. Not so much to seeing videos or anything like that, but still, the best learning comes from reading a book. My students are not capable of reading books well. So what do? I could abandon it. I could say, okay, you guys aren't going to read books, so I'm not going to have you read books. That's not a good idea. Or I could learn them on how to read a book and get the information out of it. Sometimes I'll give them a quiz. All right, guys, you took notes last night. Open notes quiz. Take the notes you took out and take a quiz on the big concepts. Sometimes they do pretty badly. And then they learn how to take notes better the next time. But books have become a center of learning in my classes. I have gone without books. I've had classes without books. You just put all the books away. You just put the books away and you design your own work, and where you as the teacher present all the information and then they just kind of give it back to you in a slightly different form. Well, but then it's limited only to you giving them information. And I've done online book things. That's still not as good because the format of a physical textbook or a physical piece of paper to read, so much better than anything online or on a small screen. So I use books because I think that books and the ability to read, that's a seriously important skill. No matter who you are, no matter what education you will have in the future, but especially those students who are going to the university, you realize when you get there, it's like, seriously? I have to sit here and listen to the guy lecture and then read hundreds of pages outside class? I don't want to do that. But that's what you have to do. So if we train them early on how to read a book, get good information from the book, they'll do a whole lot better. No matter where they go, what they do. So books, I like them a lot.